Finnish government response to Nigeria government over the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, His Excellency Ekpa Simon Njoko, as federal government demand his extradition to Nigeria. Here the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome to Biafra Unite channel / television this very moment. Today's date is 15th of August 2024, and I have some video clips for you. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, I want you to pay very good attention to this very news, because it's very, very important. I can assure you, my people, I do not want to talk too much about this because it's already gone viral and everybody is aware of it. But I want to point something out. There's a particular point that nobody is paying attention. When you go on Twitter, it's trending. Everybody, the genuine Biafrans are panicking. Apart from the broadcast, the emergency space of the Prime Minister yesterday. Even some people who have not listened to the Prime Minister's address are still panicking till today. So now, if you are hearing me, you have an opportunity to calm your nerves. Because I'm going to show you something, though I will play video for you. I will play the video of the woman, the Finnish Foreign Affairs Minister. I'm going to play that video for you. But before then, let us read in details from the Zoo Media. And the headline from Punch newspaper Nigeria, they said, Finland pledges swift action on Simon Ekpa during diplomatic talks. This is their own headline, right? And if you listen to the Prime Minister's broadcast yesterday, he said that the Finnish Foreign Affairs and other delegation from the Nordic, countries, the Scandinavian countries, that the reason why they came to the zoo is not because of the Prime Minister, which is the truth, but because of the idiocy of the Zoo Media, that the woman granted press, briefing. They left every other thing they're supposed to talk about, both the insecurity, the hunger, the bad governance, and everything that the citizens are crying for. They were busy asking her questions about Mazi Simon Ekpa. That is their problem. Now, let me not read from the Punch. We are going straight to Daily Post. We are going to read in details from the Daily Post, and then I will show you something that I want to show you before playing the video for you. According to the headline from Daily Post Nigeria, they say Simon Ekpa's case will be concluded soon. Finland assures Nigerian government. Now let's read. The Finnish government has assured Nigeria that the legal proceedings involving Simon Ekpa will be concluded soon. Of course, it will be concluded soon. In fact, to be honest with you, it has already been concluded. Yes, because Finland can never pay attention to the demands or pressure from the Zoological Republic, a terrorist country. A country like Finland can never pay attention to a terrorist country like the zoo. Now they continued. This was disclosed by Finland's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Elina Veltonen, after a meeting between Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, and the Foreign Minister of Sweden, Finland, Ireland, and as well as representatives from Norway and Denmark. Addressing journalists after the meeting, which held in Abuja, Veltonen said Ekpa's case was being handled through Finland's judiciary system, which operates strictly by the rule of law. Which operates strictly by the rule of law. Now pay attention. She's about to say something very, very important. Ekpa, who resides in Finland, had been linked to the violence in the southeast. The self-acclaimed Prime Minister of Biafra is believed to be behind those referred to unknown gunmen. There is nothing like unknown gunmen. We have Biafra Liberation Army, Biafra Resistance Fighters, and of course, the Biafra Navy. We have gone beyond the era of unknown gunmen. we are now in a government. Following his link to insecurity in Nigeria, the zoo journalists, that's why we call them Nig Govt media. Nig Govt media. Following his insecurity, his link to insecurity in Nigeria. Which Nigeria? Somebody tells you that he is no longer involved with your shenanigans, with whatever you are doing, with your name, your entity. Allow him to breathe. Allow him to be alone. Leave him alone. You are still referring Biafra land as part of Nigeria. You are not just a mad person, but you are a dumb. Now, they say some Nigerians had called on the federal government to repatriate Ekpa back to the country to face prosecution for his actions. Which country? To Biafra land? However, Tuggar, after the discussion with the 5 Nordic delegates, confirmed that the Ekpa issue was a central topic in his discussions with Vetonen. And he continued, it was a priority. There is no way Nigeria would engage with Finland without raising the issue of Simon Ekpa vociferously, Tuggar said. Speaking, Vetonen reaffirmed Finland's commitment to working with Nigeria on the matter. If you are referring to a specific person operating in Finland in a less than constructive manner, we have discussed this with the Nigerian authorities. Pay attention to this. Both our judicial systems are collaborating on this matter, and we hope it will soon be resolved. Both governments have stressed that the case is not a political issue, but rather a judicial one. Did you get that? Now, let me finish it and then I'll come back here. Reaffirming their commitment to upholding the law as the proceedings unfold, Vetonen stated. Listen, she said here, because a lot of people did not pay attention to this. They said here, both governments have stressed that the case is not a political issue, but rather a judicial one. Of which she has already told you that their law is very, very strict. Now, if it's for the zoo government, they want it to be a political matter, which is exactly what they learned from Britain. They would have preferred it to be a political matter, because when it is a political matter, you begin to talk about relationship, bilateral relations and agreements. You begin to talk about these things. You begin to talk about give me, I give you. What am I going to gain? If I give you this person, what will I gain in return? If I do this, what will you do for me? That is politics and political. Are you paying attention? So the woman has let them know without mincing word that this matter is not political. It is going to be a judicial matter based on law of their land. Look at it. Both our judicial systems are collaborating on this matter, and we hope it will soon be resolved. Both governments, because the zoo wanted it to be, political thing, but Finland has let them know that it is a judicial thing. Both governments have stressed that the case is not a political issue, but rather a judicial one. Now, when you go up here, she said, addressing journalists after the meeting, which held in Abuja, Vetonen said Ekpa's case was being handled through Finland's judicial system, which operates strictly by the rule of law. I don't want to go into the details of telling you what the Prime Minister said yesterday, how Finland fought their own wars, to obtain independence and all that, by force, not by beg. And this is their history. And they know how it's been done. They know how independence is being, obtained. So I don't have to go into that details because, first of all, I don't know much about their history. And again, the Prime Minister tossed everything yesterday for the whole world to hear. So that is it. Now, because I don't want to talk too much concerning this very matter, I have let you know. Anybody thinking that the Finland people or Finnish government will be, handing Mazi Simon Ekpa to the zoo, you have to go and rethink. They have made it very, very categorically clear that the Prime Minister's matter is not a political issue. It has absolutely nothing to do with politics. If they had allowed it to be a political matter, just as Britain took the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on their head, and it was very heavy for them. They made it political, and they have to, use Kenya to commit the crime, because they knew if he was in their land, if he was in UK, it can never be a political matter. It would have been a judicial matter. Then they waited and used some individuals close to him to lure him to Kenya. And then they used political matters, settled the Kenya government and all that, and then they kidnapped him and renditioned him to the zoo. Because of what? They made it a political matter between the zoo, Britain, and Kenya. But Finland is telling you the truth, that it is not a political matter, rather it is a law, a judicial matter. And we are going to follow it by law, based on law. And this same law that says you have the right for self-determination, you have the right to, to free yourself from the bondage of colonization. Also, Tigona, it is over. Now I want you to watch the video to Salo Nomozia and make it go viral.
In a not very, say, constructive manner, then indeed we have taken this up and discussed this with the Nigerian authorities in full collaboration. And the entire process is within our judicial system. And in Finland, who operates very strictly by the rule of law, such as we see that Nigeria is doing as well. It is not a political question, but it is a question to the judicial system. And both our judicial systems do collaborate on this matter, and we hope that we will be able to close it soon. What comes to education, indeed, I guess all of us in the Nordics pride ourselves of focusing very much on human capital and education, since in order to thrive and prosper, we not only need stability and trust in our societies, but we also need for the possibility for each and every individual, independent of where he or she comes from, the possibility to thrive in her life based on education and the ability to work and be an entrepreneur.